Hi everyone, today we are going to be making a cardigan out of a granny square. You're probably like, what? But it's going to be awesome. Before we start, I do want to mention I do have a Facebook page, so I'll put the link in the description of this video. And check out my website as well. I will have the pattern there and also other patterns of things that I like to make, so you can check my whole website out. I'll put that link in the description. And I found this pattern for this granny square cocoon shrug online as a free pattern, so I'll put the link in the description of this video as well, where you can find that pattern. Like I said, it's a free pattern. I just found this online and decided to make it. So what we need to do, let's start. So I'll show you exactly what kind of yarn I'm using for this pattern and all the supplies that I'm using. I'm using red heart yarn. I love red heart yarn, so I'm going to use this. This is the color buff, which I'm going to use. I'm actually using two colors on this. You can make it one solid color if you want, or you can mix it up, make it rainbow if you want, but I'm going to use this buff color for the majority of the pattern, and then the outline, the collar and the sleeves, I'm going to be making or using this burgundy color, which is called Boysenberry by Red Heart. So you can use, this is Boysenberry and buff, but you can use your own colors, like I said. So those are my choices. If you can't find this type of yarn where you are at, just make sure it's a medium worsted weight yarn. And the amount of yarn we are going to use, I bought a pound of this, and then one of these smaller ones, 7 ounces ones. So I used a 14 ounce and a 7 ounce. So you'll need 21 ounces of this color, and then just a little bit, like a half a skein, like 7 or 5 ounces of the next color. But like I said, you're just gonna have to, use your own colors if you want, or make it solid. I would buy then, 28 ounces of the solid. If you're gonna make it solid, buy 28 ounces of it. So those are, just technical types of questions I usually get. How much yarn did you use? So then I'm going to use an L size hook, which is 8 millimeters. You can use a 7 millimeter or really any size hook that you want, because this is a lot of it's going off of measurements. So let us get situated and get started, and we'll make this cardigan. Alright, so to start, we are going to start off with a slip knot. So put your short end over the long end and then fold that down and pull that middle piece up. If you're unsure on how to make slip knots, or if that was too fast, there are other videos, slower videos, to show you how to do that. But from here, we are going to chain up 4. So yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in the 4th chain from the hook, we are going to put 2 double crochet. So yarn over, go into that 4th chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, do that again. So yarn over, go into that chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. So with our big hook like this, it's making very loose stitches, which is awesome because this cardigan is going to be very loose fitted on our body, so it's going to be great. Now after we have those 2, this right here does count as a stitch. It's going to count as a chain up 3, and that is going to count as a stitch right here. Okay, so it looks like we have 3 double crochet. Now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then make 3 double crochet back into that same chain that we were just working in. So yarn over, go into that chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so that was 1. We have to make 2 more. 2 and 3. Okay, now we're going to chain 2, and you can kind of see how I'm turning this all the way around. We're kind of working in a circle. So chain 2, 1 and 2, like that. And then we're going to do 3 more double crochet into that middle circle there. Now it looks like a circle. So make 3 more double crochet in there. 1, 2, and 3. All right, chain 2, 1 and 2. Yarn over, go back into that circle for 3 more double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Now we need to connect, because this is our circle there. We can pull this a little bit, close that. We'll sew this around so that this circle in the middle here is going to be sewn tight. But what I usually do when I'm coming to a corner or coming to attach here, I usually just chain 1 instead of chaining 2. I go into that 3rd chain from the bottom. So you see 1, 2, oops, I'm sorry, it's hidden. 1, 2, and 3 right here. Go in there and make a single crochet. So yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. So now we have a little bit of height and we're going on to the next round. I'm going to turn my work because I've noticed that if you don't turn your work and you work your granny square in circle and then move up and move circle, 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 and you don't turn your work, your square is going to become lopsided, like crooked. It's going to look so weird. So I usually make that single crochet there and then chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then I turn my work. Did you see that? I turned my work. So now I'm looking at the back of my work. This little straggler here I'll sew in later. And now you can see that there are 4 spaces on our work. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? We're going to be working in those 4 spaces right now. So we just chained up 3, so that counts as our first double crochet of this round. So now we have to make 2 more double crochet in that same corner, 1 and 2, just like that, okay? Now you can decide here. You can chain 1 if you want, but you don't have to. A lot of granny squares chain 1 at this point and then move to the next like that. But I am actually not going to do that for this whole pattern. Okay, so we're just going to go directly into the very next space, skipping over these 3 double crochets, going into the next chain space there, that corner, and make 3 double crochets. Okay, remember, double crochet is yarning over, going in, yarning over, pulling through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. That's a double crochet. So make your 3 double crochet, but we are in the corner here, so we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then make 3 more double crochet in that same corner. So 1, 2, and 3. And this is where we would normally chain 1 and go on to the next corner, but I'm not going to chain 1 in this whole project. So I'm just going directly into the next corner and repeating what we just did in the last corner, making 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and then chaining 2, 1 and 2, and then making 3 more double crochets in that same space. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Going into the next corner, directly right in there, for 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, chain 2. There we go. Okay, now coming up onto the last corner, which we already have half of that worked in there. You can see that right there. So we just need to make 3 double crochet in that last corner and then connect just like how we did right before we moved on to round number 2. Just chain 1, go into the 3rd chain up. If it's hard for you to see, you can count 1, 2, and 3 and go directly in there and make a single crochet. So yarn over and pull that through, yarn over and pull through 2. That's a single crochet. So now chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, going on to round number 3, turn your work. So now we're looking at like this. And I'm going to cut for a minute and sew in this straggler end and close this middle so it's going to look like this. So I'll meet you back up and we will work on round number 3. Alright, so working on round number 3, what I just did here is I just sewed this in. So now this middle is closed here, so you can't even see. So it's awesome. So working on round number 3, we just chained up our 3 here, and we're going to work in this corner here. So we're going to make 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, because that chain up 3 counts as a stitch. So it looks like you have 3 double crochet there. Then we have this space here now, because we just created this space from our last round. So we're going to go right in there for 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And then now we're going into the corner here. So we're going to make our 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. The corners are always going to be the same throughout this whole pattern. And once we get past this round, it's basically just a repeat pattern all the way around till we make it however big we want it to be. So I just did the corner there. Now we're in the middle here. So we're going to put our 3 double crochets right in there. So basically 3 double crochets in every space along the side, and then in the corners it's 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So now I'm going into the corner for that. So it's very simple to make a granny square, and on this granny square we're not chaining between each grouping of 3 on the sides. See, like right here we're going onto the side now. Normally people chain 1 and then go in there, but we're not doing that for this whole pattern. So it may save you a little bit of stitching, a little bit of time, and some yarn as well. So we're just going directly into the next spaces, and only in the corners are we chaining 2, like that. So it's very simple to make this square. You have to just remember to turn your work after every round, and so it doesn't, get to be a lopsided square. So I'm just going to continue making this square. And if this was a little bit confusing for you, there are, many videos. I actually have a granny square video online on my channel, so you can view that. Now we're joining here, so I'll interrupt for a second and chain 1 and then attach to the chain up 3 here by doing a single crochet. Okay, that's always what we're going to do for attaching. Okay, then chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn your work. But anyway, I have a granny square pattern, or a video. I can even put in the description of this video, so you can link it there and view that so you know how to make granny squares. And make this granny square. Let's see, what round are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want this to be 41 inches long, which is 105 centimeters. Okay, so make sure that this measures. Here, I'll pause for a second here. We want this to measure from across. Right now it's only 1, 2, 3, 4 inches, but we want it to be 41 inches wide, and for me that's going to be about 31 rounds. Okay, so now you kind of get the point on how to make these rounds. So just continue your pattern and measure it out. And for everybody it may be different. Your gauge may be a little different for the hook size you're using, or for how tight your tension is. So For me, since I have measured this already, it is going to be 30 rounds for me for how my tension is and the size hook I'm using. I'm using an 8mm hook. So I know that I have to make it 30 rounds to be 41 inches. So just continue this pattern until yours measures to be 41 inches. That will fit any teen or adult, most adults. So we will meet you back up once I have my 30 rounds. So just continue doing this. It may take you a while, but you can come back to this video and we will finish this cardigan together.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. So I just made my whole granny square, however big I needed it to be. It needed to be 41 inches. I ended up making 31 rounds just to be safe. So I made 31 rounds and this is how it looks. It's ginormous. And if you want it to be bigger, go right ahead. If you need it to be a little bit smaller, go right ahead. You know, it's really versatile. You can make this however big you want. But from the middle, I counted out, it is 31 rounds. And it's good because I turned my work every round and it is a perfect square. If you didn't turn your work every round, it would turn out to be looking a little like this, like crooked, and that would look weird. So make sure you turn your work every round. And this is how it looks so far. So now what we need to do is make it into a cardigan. It just looks like a baby blanket right now, which you could actually cut off at this point 41 inches and have this be a baby blanket. This would be a great baby blanket. It's so soft, so squishy with the thick stitch. So great baby blanket idea. Awesome. All right, let us finish this out here. So I'm just finishing my last round. I just have a few stitches to go and then I can show you what exactly we're going to do. We are going to fasten off. Oh, I'm just kidding. We're not fastening off. Don't fasten off yet. We are going to do one round of all double crochets. So no more doing these skipping any stitches or anything like that. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just connecting here. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, so connecting by doing your single crochet. Oh, I didn't even chain. Oh my goodness. There we go. Chain one, then single crochet. Okay, then chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn your work. And the corners are going to be the same for this round. So we are going to be doing 2 double crochet like that. But then in each stitch all the way around, we are going to put a double crochet. Just like that. So by now I know you know how to do a double crochet because we just did 30 rounds of that. So just do 1 double crochet in each stitch around with your main color. If you're making this solid, don't ever like switch color or anything. Don't even, just disregard the fact that I'm saying change color when I do say that. So on this part, it's all going to be the same color. So what for my cardigan? Your cardigan, it's your creativity. You can do whatever you want with yours. So we're just putting 1 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, we're not working in those spaces anymore. Okay, so we're just putting a double crochet so you can see how it's just all the way across like that. So I'm going to put a double crochet in each stitch around, and then I will meet you back up toward the corner because I'll show you how to do the corner, but then I'll leave you on your own to do the rest of this round. Okay. Alright, so I'm coming up on the corner here. This is how your side should look. So there's no spaces like this. We're just double crocheting all the way across, and now we hit the next corner. So we are going to put our 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet in the same corner, like we've been doing. Okay, so 3 double crochet, like that, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet. So the corners are the only things that are staying the same. So we're doing that, like that. So we just did 3, chain 2, then 3. Now, continuing just like how we did side 1, we are just putting 1 double crochet in each stitch, avoiding those spaces, just going into the stitches. That's why we didn't do those chain 1s between the double crochet groupings, because of this reason. We just didn't need to put any stitches in any chain 1 spaces or anything like that. So we're just doing the double crochets all the way around, making sure the corners are the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So just continue doing all of this all the way around, and then I'll meet you back up and show you. We are going to fasten off at that point if you're going to change color. Alright, so I'm just coming up to the very end here. I'm just going to do these last couple stitches, and then we can fasten off. So we're just doing the last corner here. Get that. There we go. Alright, so last corner we have our 3 double crochets, so we just have to put 3 double crochets and then chain 2 this time. Usually in our corner when we attach we just chain 1 and then single crochet, but now we are finishing. So chain 2 and then attach to that chain up 3 by slip stitching. So yarn over, pull through, and through. Alright, now to fasten off I usually just chain up 1, cut my yarn, but this yarn we're actually cutting pretty long on this one. Okay, so I just cut my yarn a significant amount, and I'm just going to pull that all the way through, just like that. Okay, and then I'll pull that tight so that's secure. Alright, now I have this long piece because we are going to use that for a little bit of sewing, so keep that in mind, and then the other side we're just going to use new yarn. But at this point, I mean, if you don't want to use a long strand, you can cut it short, sew in that end, and you have yourself a nice baby blanket. So congratulations, you have a nice lovely blanket, a nice granny square here. So, and the stitch looks awesome. So this looks good. But now we are making ours into a cardigan. So what we need to do is fold it in half. Anyway, doesn't matter because it's a square. So fold it right in half. Okay, match up your ends like this. And then turn it so you're facing the hot dog way. So like this. Okay? So you're looking at it from the side. So you basically folded it over like a book. Okay? So we just did that. So now that strand that we just cut, we're working on that end. Okay? And we are going to sew this all the way together until we hit, let's see here, 7 inches. So about this much, okay? So we are going to sew this side together until we hit about right here, okay? So to do that, I highly, highly recommend you have a yarn needle or tapestry needle, and we are going to yarn our needle, okay, and then you can manipulate this however you need to. I'm right-handed, so I'm just gonna go like this, and now we're in the corner here, So we're matching up our corner holes, our corner spaces here, and we are just going to, you can either do a whip stitch, so just going in like this and then going back around and then going like all the way through. Or you can do a mattress stitch, which I'm going to do. I just find it to be a cleaner, flattering stitch. So to do a mattress stitch, have your yarn on this side closest to you and go underneath. Let's see, we're going to start here. Go to where you're going to start, underneath the 2 loops there, and then pull that through from the inside out. Okay. Then, going over the top, we're going to go into the next stitch on this other side from the inside out. So we're working inside out. Okay, so now other side, going from the inside underneath both loops. And just continue doing that for each stitch all the way across until you hit that mark. Now, you could have marked your work at that point where you need to stop, or you can just continue going until you measure that 7 inches. So once I get far enough, and I think I'm gonna eyeball it and see if I need to stop stitching, and then I'm gonna measure if I have 7 inches. We want it to be 7 inches. So just continue doing this, following along by sewing this up. Like I said, you could do the whip stitch, and that's totally fine, but for me, I'm just gonna do it this way. You could also attach it by slip stitching each stitch, or you can also do a single crochet stitch by attaching this. Basically, you just need to close this area. So whatever you feel like doing to do that, that is totally up to you. Use your creativity and you can do this. So now that you have seen how I'm doing this my way, you can do it your way or continue doing it my way. And then I will meet you up when I am ready to fasten this side off, when I have 7 inches left to do. And I'll meet you back up when I'll show you exactly what I mean right next. So I'll meet you back up when I'm there. Alright, so I've just sewed this together so you can see here how it's going to look. Just like that. And then over here, I measured 7 inches right here, and that's where my opening is for my sleeve. So we are going to fasten off right here. So to fasten off, I usually just go around again like that and loop this underneath so it makes a sort of knot, and I do that a couple of times just randomly, and then we can sew in this end. Make sure this is secure so it doesn't unravel. It's like the worst nightmare a crocheter could have, is their work unraveling. So then I'm just going to needle it through some stitches, behind some stitches, just at random, basically, just to hide this end. And you can go backwards. Like that. Alright, stretch it out. Make sure nothing is gonna come out. Cut your yarn. Put that aside. And there's one side. Okay, so this is how it looks. Lovely, nice and flat. You have your armhole here, so we're going to be making a sleeve there. And then we're going to turn this around like this. Actually, I'm going to turn it and flip it so it looks just like how we were doing it. Like that. So we're going to do the same exact thing to the opposite side. But notice that this side does not have a strand already attached. So we have to attach a strand. So let me grab my yarn here. And we are going to start from the very edge and work our way in exactly like we did with the other side. So yarn your needle. Okay, and now we're going to work in the corner. We have to match up the corners here. And I'm going to go through the chains like that. Make sure that it is snug. I'm going to go loop again just to secure that and put this through. Oops. So it ties it. Okay. Then I'm going to let that piece go, and I have this long strand here that I'm going to cut. A really long strand that we are going to use. Okay, so now we have our yarn all set up, and now we can go do our mattress stitch, just like how we did with the other side. So let's get this straggler out of the way so you don't see that. And this is really long. And it's going to get shorter as we go. So you just want to go back and forth. Just like how we've been doing from the inside out on each stitch. On each side of this panel. And then you want to stop at 7 inches when you have 7 inches left over. So just do this side, and then I'll meet you back up when I'm finished, and then we'll sew in our ends together, and we will work on our collar and then our sleeves, and then we're done. So the main part of it is over. So you should be very proud of yourselves for doing this, going this far. We are almost finished. We just have to do the outer collar, which I'm going to do in that bright boysenberry color, that like magenta purpley color. So I really like that color. So you can add your new color, or you can just continue with the solid color. Totally up to you. Use your creativity, that creative mind. So I will meet you back up when I have this side done. Alright, so for our second sleeve, we just sewed this edge together like that, so it's nice and flat. And then we measure 7 inches right here. So our sleeve hole is right here, and we ended right here at the 7th inch. And now I'm just going to fasten off, so what I'm going to do is just wind that underneath those stitches and make a couple of knots, just like how we did on the other side. And then we're going to sew in both of our ends. Let's make sure that that's not going to come undone. I'm just going to tie a few knots. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to sew in my ends, just randomly underneath a few stitches here. Okay, and then you can go back. Alright, cut that, stretch it out, make sure nothing's going to come unraveled. Then, since our beginning, we had to attach that yarn here. I have to sew this end in. And that's already knotted on there, but if you want to, you can reinforce that by making another knot. It's totally up to you. Nobody's gonna see it. So that is your preference. And now I'm just sewing in underneath all of these stitches so I can hide this end. And sewing it back. Okay, cutting this yarn, stretching this out. Alright, so there we go. There is the start of our cardigan. So now, if you want to shape this and see how it's actually going to turn out and how big it's going to be, fold it, or turn it the hamburger way, so we're looking at it like this, and open this up like this. So it looks like a diamond. And that is how our cardigan is going to look. So you can see on this end here, there's an arm sleeve hole. And on this side here, our arm sleeve hole. And then our head will be up here. Our butt will be down here. And now we are going to make the edging here, because this is really gross looking in the middle here. I mean, you could add a button if you wanted to and just hide that, or you can make the collar and the sleeves a different color for some fun pop. So let's do that. So I'm bringing in this color. It's called Boysenberry. And we are going to be looking at our work just like this, but I'm turning it so one sleeve is way far away from me, and one sleeve is right next to me. And we are working in the middle here, and we're starting where we joined the two sides, okay? And we're using the same size hook. Just make a slip knot. If you're unsure on how to make a slip knot, there are other videos to show you how to do that. And we're using that same size hook, 8mm size L hook, or the same hook that you were using to make this entire thing. So now we are going to start on the left space. There's that corner space there, you can see there, and there's a corner space here. We're going to start in here on the left side and just slip stitch like that. So what I did was just insert my hook into that space, yarn over, pull through, and pull through there. So I just pulled it through the slip knot that I made. And now we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to make 2 more double crochet in that same space. 1 and 2, like that. Okay, so we have 3 double crochet basically. This is going to count as our first double crochet. So now we are going to just double crochet in each stitch all the way around. When we get to the other side, in the next space like this, corner space on this side, we're just going to put 3 double crochets in each of those. So don't go in any spaces or anything like that, only in those on those sides. And we're going to put 3 double crochet in each of those spaces. So it's basically going to be 6 double crochet in a row. Okay, and I'll show you exactly what I mean when I get to that side. So just put 1 double crochet in each stitch, and we are going to be making let me think. I think it's 3 rounds, but I could be wrong. I will let you know as soon as I read my pattern and get to the other side. I will tell you exactly how many rounds we're doing and how to do those corners. So I'll meet you back up at that point.
Take a semi there.
Alright, so I'm coming out on the other side here, so you can see this was a corner. We just sewed this sleeve section here, so their sleeve is right here. So I just came up on the opposite side, and I'm just finishing this up real quick. And now, when you get to the space here, the corner space, you're going to put 3 double crochet on this side, and then we're going to hop over this seam here and go into this corner piece here. I know it's not a corner anymore, it was a corner when this piece was a square, but we're putting 3 double crochet in there as well. So there's 3 in there and 3 in there, okay? So it's basically 6 in a row, just like that, hopping over the seam. And now we're just continuing to work 1 double crochet all the way around. I'll meet you back up when I'm at the gonna attach. We are working 5 rounds of this little collar thing, so make sure that you have enough yarn, and we are going to work 5 rounds of this, so I will meet you back up when I'm going to attach and show you how to go on to round number 2, and then I'll let you do the round number 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your own, and then we'll make the sleeves, and then we're all done. So I'll meet you back up when I'm on the other side. Alright, so I'm back to the beginning here, and just finishing up this last stitch right here. And now there's that space. So our last space, we are going to make our 3 double crochets in there. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to attach to the chain up 3 of this round by inserting our hook and then yarning over, pulling through and through. So we just made a slip stitch. Okay, and that'll come together nicely. You won't even notice it. So now we just made 1 round. Now round number 2 through 5 are just repeats. So we just chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. And just now there's no putting 3 stitches anywhere. You just simply go into the next. We do not work in this one here because we just chained up 3, and that's going to count as a stitch. So now working in the very next one, we are making our double crochets. And we're just going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. And this is row number 2, or round number 2. And we're working all the way around. Then we're going to slip stitch to the chain up 3, and then we're going to go on to round number 3. And 3, 4, and 5 are just a repeat of round number 2. So I'm going to actually just meet you up when I'm finished with round number 5, because 3, 4, and 5 are repeats of round number 2. So you just chained up 3, and now we're just working 1 double crochet in each stitch around, and do that you want to have 5 rounds of this. So I'll meet you up when I am on, or finishing round 5. I'll show you how to fasten off, and then we will work on the sleeves. Alright, so I'm back, and I just did my 5 rounds, and every time we came up we just chained up 3 and went around with a double crochet. So now we're just going to pretend like we're going on to a new round by slip stitching to that chain up 3. But we're not going to go on to a new round, we're fastening off. So to fasten off, I usually just chain 1 and then cut my yarn and then pull that through and pull it tight. And you can decide to make a knot just like that if you'd like, and then just sew that tail in. So now this is what our work looks like. It's so big. So that is what it will look like. So you can see the collar, it already is folding out. So that's how the collar is going to look. Our head is going to be up there, and the bottom is over here. And now we're going to work on a sleeve. So I am going to sew in this end off camera and get my sleeve ready, and we will move on to making our sleeve. Alright, so we're going to start with the sleeve. I'm using my second color, the one that I used for the collar area. You can use whatever color you want, like I said, you know, creativity. But we're going to start off with a slip knot. We've made a few during this video, so I'm sure you know how to do that by now. And for the sleeve, we are going to look at the sleeve like this. So this is where we seamed it. This is where we sewed this part together. And then this is the outside. So we are going to start over here where we seamed this together. We're going to start in this stitch here. So starting on the left side here, so you see we seamed this together. There's a stitch here and there's a stitch here. So those two stitches right there. And we are going to start on the left side here. And we're just going to slip stitch. So insert our hook in there, yarn over, pull through, and through. Okay, so we're attached. And now we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and make a double crochet in that same stitch that we just chained up 3 in. So make a double crochet in there, like that. And now I'm just going to drop my straggler, and we're going to double crochet in each stitch all the way around this sleeve, this cuff area. So just inserting your hook into the next stitch and making your double crochet. Okay, so I'm going to double crochet around this hole here, and then I'll meet you back up to show you how to attach. And we are actually working on the next round. We're only working 3 rounds on this one, and we are working front post double crochets and back post double crochets to make a nice little cuff. So and then that's it, we're almost finished. So just do 1 double crochet around this entire armhole here, and I'll meet you back up when I'm closer to the end. Alright, so I just came up on the end here. Just gonna insert my double crochets there, and now we're coming to the end here. There is that stitch there. Even though it's stitched with our sewing technique there, we are still going to put a double crochet in there. Basically, wherever a double crochet will fit, that is where we're going to put it. Now we're back to the beginning, and there you can see our chain up 3 right here. So we are just going to attach by doing a slip stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay. Now going on to round number 2 of the sleeve, we are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. And now we're working front post double crochet and then back post double crochet, alternating. So if you're unsure on how to do that, just yarn over, go into this next stitch. So we're not working on this stitch here. We just chained up 3 and that counts as a stitch. So it's basically this stitch above this stitch and so on. So now we're working around this stitch here, and we're going to yarn over and go in from the front around that post and then back to the front. Okay, so we just worked around that. Then we're going to yarn over and pull that through. Okay, so we have these 3 loops on our hook right here. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. So that was a front post double crochet. So now we are going to work a back post double crochet around this post here. So yarn over. Now we're going from the back to the front, and then from the front to the back, yarning over, pulling through, like that, yarning over, pulling through 2, yarning over and pulling through 2. Okay, so I'll show you again, front post double crochet on the next one. So yarn over, go around that post from the front, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now the next one is a back post double crochet, so we're going to yarn over and go in from the back to the front, and then go back to the back, then yarn over, pull through, around that, then yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, I'll show you once more. We're going to yarn over, go from the front to the back around this post, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's our front post double crochet. So the next one we're going to do our back post. So go through the back, around that post, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so just continue doing those alternating stitches all the way around, and I'll meet you back up when I am back to the beginning, and we will go on to round number 3. Alright, so I'm just coming up to the end here by doing my last stitch. On yours it may be different. I'm ending on a back post, but you may end up on a front post, so it really doesn't matter. Just make sure you alternate all the way around, and then you see your first chain up 3 here, so we are going to slip stitch to that one by inserting our hook, yarning over, pulling through, and through. Alright, so going on to round number 3, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then turn this piece is so bulky now, it's almost finished. So now, going on to round number 3, it's actually the same as round number 2. Just if it's a front post double crochet, we're going to do a front post double crochet. If it's a back post double crochet, we're going to do a back post double crochet. So just continue working the same pattern than we've been doing for round number 2 for round number 3. And we are just doing back posts and then front posts for double crochets all the way around. And then at the end of this round, we are going to fasten off, and you just have one more sleeve left and we're almost done. So I'll meet you back up when I have this round finished and we'll fasten off. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm just at the end here, so we are going to slip stitch to our chain up 3, like this. If I can get in there, there we go. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And then to fasten off, I just chain up 1, and then usually I cut my yarn, but I'm toward the end of my skein, so I'm just going to pull that all the way through and pull that tight. And then you can reinforce it by making a knot, like that, pull it tight. And then we just have to sew in this end here. So we're just gonna go in, random stitches underneath, anything. Okay, and cut that. And there's our sleeve. So do the same thing to the other side, and then I'll meet you back up when that is finished, and we will have our finished cardigan. Alright, so we have our cardigan all finished. I just finished the other sleeve, so our sleeves match. Looking good. And we are all finished. So this is what it looks like. You can try it on, see how it fits. Definitely it's going to have, since this is this section right here underneath where your armpit is going to be, it's almost like a bat wing type of sleeve. So that's really cool. And it's very loose, very comfy, very squishy and warm. So enjoy your cardigan, and be sure like this video so you can come back to it, because you did need to rewind this for the second sleeve. And if you need to rewind it or go back and reference it, make sure you click like so it'll go into your favorites. Also subscribe to my channel so that you can get updates on my other videos and new videos. I try to put out a new video every week, so you can check those out. Check my website out and subscribe and join my Facebook. I have a Facebook, so I'll put all the cool links in the description of this video. And thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your cardigan and happy hooking.